Hello, groups. I am talking to you again this week. I want to just say thank you for all the work you're doing and putting into this. I know it's probably a new thing, been a lot of challenges to it. I appreciate your flexibility as we go forward. We're looking at the upcoming week 8. This means we have 3 weeks left and what we're accomplishing. I just want to let you know I sort of shooting an arrow into the dark a little bit, hoping to hit the board. Scott didn't really provide me a lot of information to work on. I tried to have him look at the questions. He said, they look great, and so anyways, we're here, and I think the first question is obvious. The foreign land question, it could be any uncomfortable place we've been in. It doesn't have to be necessarily some place, actually, most foreign land, in other words, a place where I felt uncomfortable. Could be a party we went to, any of those experiences. And some of these questions I have done to sort of help us think about our cultural settings and our contexts and how there are some foreign things that we face at times. So just remember that. Question 3, really it could be all the above or however you want to look at it. It's another way of talking and discussing about culture a little bit, and actually the idea of a missionary. Ultimately, I hope you know already that we're all are missionaries and called to do many of the things that the missionaries did. Jeremiah 49, 1 through 13, question 4, just as Jeremiah's call. And basically we identify with many ways in his call, that there are some specifics that are to Jeremiah. The object of this question is to separate those. What are sort of the general callings of God? Like we're all, I think, in the womb, we're called. We don't understand that a little bit. You can also talk about how God identifies the person in the womb and the pro-life stance. But anyways, so we're all called in the womb, and how does this calling of Jeremiah relate to us, and also how is it specific to Jeremiah? Just another thinking question. As we look at question 5, basically it's just thinking around our area. For instance, there's a mosque not too far from us. There's a lot of environments. There's the coffee club at the Lennon Cafe. I'm just thinking some various places. I'm sure the beauty place, a parlor, or wherever you do your hair over here has its own little culture there and various things. So there's a lot of different places. It's just to make us to think and about what our culture is. I ask you to pray right there. I hope the groups are praying, and I'd like for your report on that this week. How is the prayer growing in your group? I want a growing prayer. And this is a way to sort of implement praying in our church, and we're trying to do that. Most importantly, this week, I'd like for you to pray for our community, at least one person. Hopefully, we'll get to a place where all the people have a community focus. I stress every week that our mission is to make disciples who make more disciples. And if that's what our mission is, we should be praying about it, okay? And so I'd like for you just to sort of try to employ this within your groups on a weekly basis, praying for the Great Commission. We look at 1 Corinthians 9, 19 through 23, just looking at Paul's heart. Digging deeper, it's just a general question about missions. It wasn't the best. And then next week, we're going to be looking at stewardship. So I think the questions are basically kind of a little blah this week because of the situation. In the future, I might try to get the speakers scheduled times when we're not doing the small base groups. But just to let you know that, so we're going to be trying to do so it's easier if I do it. I have a little bit more control and a little more thought, and I think it's kind of obvious with that. As we look at our groups, just want to make sure we're tight on a few things. We want to be tight on our time frames that we're doing it. We're starting on time. We're ending on time. 15 minutes before the group starts, the facilitator and the host are supposed to be there greeting people. That's really the greeting time. Food's given out, various things if you do food. And so that will happen. And then from the top of the hour to about 15 to a half hour, that's where your group sort of shares about their weeks. Now, obviously, that may bleed over into the greeting, and also may bleed into the question time. But it's just that's where that time frame, getting to know each other, talking about what life events were going on. You could have a quick prayer there if there's another prayer need, all right? But basically at the bottom of the hour when you start your group, I would like for you at least at that time at the minimum to be moving into the question mode, and the questions should last about 40 to 45 minutes, somewhere around there. And so you will not have time to answer all the questions if you do that, if you have any discussion at all. And the goal is not to answer the questions. So if you're still getting through all the questions, try to expand. But this takes us now to 15 past the first hour, so we're an hour and 15 minutes into it. And then the last 15 minutes are caring and praying, I guess, where your prayer needs, however your group's doing it. But again, this week I'd like for you to add the component of praying for our community, and hopefully not only this week, but you can sort of continue to do that because we need to be praying for our commission, the Great Commission of God, and what He's doing in our life. That sort of answers it. I'm praying for you. I'm available. I've talked to someone, just a couple things about the video watching. Listen, if you can only watch the video, before you do the questions, watch the video. You have to watch the video. These things are important for the facilitators and hosts, and they actually help you to know how to respond and look for different things in the group. So please watch the video ahead of time. If you haven't been doing that, you'll have to do that next week because you won't see it till afterwards, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, and continue the feedback. What questions work, what questions don't. Those are very helpful. And also this week, I would like to have feedback on the praying for you. Hope you have a great group this week. Looks like the weather might cooperate. A little snowy on Wednesday. Doesn't look too bad. And we'll just look forward to the next 2 weeks being great weather for us. God bless you.